Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review for Transformers The Last Knight. And this movie's not really good. And I say that even though there's some pretty alright action sequences, there's some character development, it overall seems like a movie that was plotted around set pieces. What I mean by this is that they got the set pieces first. This is a big action scene we gotta do. This is another big action scene. And tried to put it all together. And they did that by taking every word or so, or every second word from Transformers lore, put it in a cannon, shot it out, and like, that's the script. Nah. This has happened before with the second Transformers movie. I hate that movie. Completely. It's stupid, and it sucks. And this one was just almost similar to the fifth Pirates of the Caribbean movie. Except that one at least stuck itself together to its own internal lore. Granted, this still had an internal lore, but it makes batshit sense and just sucks. It's really hard to try and find things that are good about this movie because it just overall is too long and the dialogue sucks. And I don't just mean that in it's a written sucky kind of way. I also mean that in you can't understand what the fuck some people are saying because the audio quality decides to drop out on certain words or oversynthesize a Transformer's voice to the point where you can't understand what they're saying. It's complete crazy. Oh, it's just... So, the movie starts out pretty much explaining the Arthur legend, which was spent way too much time on. And we see that Merlin is a drunk and is the wizard and has somehow given Cybertronian stuff to King Arthur and his knights, and that's why they're fighting the barbarians coming after them. And he's going to another Transformer for help, and he's like, alright, here's this staff, which is another powerful thing, and uses it to transform all the rest of the knight-like Transformers into a three-headed dragon, kind of like King Ghidorah, to help win the battle. Yeah, it's like, okay. So, then we get back to kind of present day, and we're getting everybody kind of introduced. And it's kind of hard to keep track of this movie, because there's certain things that you can latch onto, but certain characters drop out to such a point and that you completely forget that they're there until they pop up again at a random moment to justify their own existence. So, we see stuff going on in Chicago and all that. We've got this Transformers Response Squadron, which is just to go and attack people. Lennox comes out of nowhere and is kind of like undercover, but that's not really done with at all. We see these kids go into the Chicago zone because they're like, oh, we're kids, we'll get away with whatever. We'll just say we're kids and all that. It's like, that's a stupid reason, and you're not even trying. So they go in, and they're like, look at all this stuff, these ironic robots that the people have to fight the other robots are coming through, and they're like, halt and all that, because I thought it was a leftover ship from the Battle of Chicago. Evidently, Transformers are just raining down on Earth now. It's such an indiscriminate thing that we've got all these Transformers with no names, no personalities. It's like, fine, I don't give a crap anymore. And, of course, that's when this girl Isabella comes to help them and kind of like get them away. She, of course, has her own Transformer Guardian, well, big one, Canopy, and then a little one that's kind of like messed up. It's like, okay. And, of course, the Transformers Response Force blows up her friend. She's pissed off. That's when Kay Jaeger from the previous film comes in. One of the only people that has character development in the whole film, and pretty much helps them get out with like Bumblebee and all that, which Bumblebee's Camaro was pretty nice looking. And then you also saw Barricade and his Mustang. I'm like, okay, the cars are pretty cool in this. That's about really all I can give. It's like, okay. And even those, we didn't really even get that many money shots with those things. I'm like, it's about robots. and you diminish it to the point for humans, and it's also about them transforming into cool vehicles, and you diminish the coolness of that. Like, damn it. So, they get out, Isabella's pissed off at Cade, and of course there's a bounty on Cade since he's helping all the Transformers out. And before he had escaped, he had looked at this one Transformer because he's been helping Transformers at his base and all that. He is given this talisman, like, alright, whatever, and it keeps following him around. It's like, alright. And of course it looks similar to the stuff from the Knights with Merlin and King Arthur and all that. So they get back, Isabella followed him, and here's the thing about the Isabella character. She adds nothing. It's like, oh, orphan kid, parents died, pissed off, wants to do stuff. Okay. Adds nothing to the plot whatsoever. It's almost like they needed her as a surrogate for the daughter, but they had the daughter phone in because he's like, oh, just trying to let her know that he's alive and doing okay and all that. It's like, alright. Okay. Like, if you took Isabella out, nothing would change. At all. It's like, this whole movie is like way too long. It's like 149 minutes, and you could have chopped a lot of that and tightened this up at like an hour and a half, 100 minutes at max, and it's like, okay. So, he's got her and her little Autobot that they put on a Decepticon arm too, but that doesn't matter because later on in the movie, there's an editing mistake where he doesn't have the Decepticon arm anymore, but then he does in the next scene. There's a lot of that shit going on here. So, for some odd fucking reason, Megatron is talking to the Transformer Response Force and is trying to find Merlin's staff because that is the only thing that can repair Cybertron or whatever. Because we've seen also that Optimus had returned to Cybertron, and the supposed Maker Quintessa is telling him to, like, kill everybody on Earth, get the staff, and destroy the Earth. And it's like, alright. That's the thing. Optimus is barely evil throughout this movie. He, like, gets turned, he's, like, not focused on that much, and he's only evil for, like, 1 second, and then, okay. What was the point? That's the whole marketing thing, but whatever. And so they're pretty much coming to Earth to get the staff. And he's dubbed Nemesis Prime and all that. It's like, alright, that's useless. So, Lennox and the US government and the Transformers Response Force thing team up with Megatron, actually giving him Decepticons that they had at a prison lockup that are crazy and shit. And it's like, that makes no fucking sense. Megatron is one of the, like, baddest motherfuckers for the Decepticons. He would be able to find even worse Decepticons. Why would he have to even talk to humans? He fucking kills humans. It's like, why? Oh, that's right, because the explosions are the characters. It's not about robots fighting. It's about how big of an explosion I had. So, that happens. We have also got Anthony Hopkins, which is the weirdest part of this, because you're like, why is he here? And it's like, oh, because he can go batshit crazy in this. Which he does pretty well. He's like, got this Autobot named Cogman. I think he's an Autobot. He's a Transformer. He's evidently been protecting all this stuff with all the Transformers history and all that. Tries to get this person from the museum, Vivian, who is the last living descendant of Merlin, to help him out. And she's actually fleshed out a little bit because, of course, the Cogman's sent and helps Cade and the rest of the Transformers escape from Megatron and the Transformers Response Force as they're trying to get Cade. Of course, Cogman sees the, like, talisman things, like, hey, that means you're the last knight. It's like, okay, that doesn't matter. So, they, like, go off, they take Cade to the UK, meets up with Vivian and Anthony Hopkins' character, and he's explaining everything, and there's just, the jokes fall flat. You see the Cogman doing the frickin' organ in the background with the, like, music and doing all this stuff, and everybody's, like, yelling at him to stop. It's, like, really bad trying to be Deadpool, like that fourth wall breaking kind of stuff, and it just doesn't hit. And it's just like, okay, whatever. But we see a kind of, like, at least kinship, romantic relationship kind of, like, blooming between Vivian and Cade as they're like going through their adventure, and it doesn't feel forced, which is really strange that a character development moment for these two actually works within this film because nothing. It's really hard to see that part, an actual character moment thing, can actually work in this movie because we've got that and we've got some things later on with the Autobots that work out. But it's like, okay, I mean, at first they're like pissed off at each other because Cade's kind of like the working man, inventor kind of stuff. She's the one from the Ivy League as a professor, a doctor, and all that kind of stuff. And she's like, I don't believe in this Merlin crap. It's like, okay, and going through trying to find where the staff is. So they get on a Transformer sub and go to the bottom of the ocean to get Merlin's staff. And while they're going on with this, Anthony Hopkins learns that Earth is Unicron. Because why the fuck not? Because shit galore. It's like, okay, because he learns this because the Sector 7 dude's in Cuba and is telling him to look at this book. It was just to have the Sector 7 dude from the previous films in it again, and I have no problem with the character. It's just they do nothing with him and don't give a fuck about him. So, it's like, oh, okay, and that's what the horns are coming out of the Earth, and that Stonehenge is the center point because of Pangea. And it hurts. It hurts. Fuck. It all makes so little sense. It's like the barest minimum, and it's like, what the fuck? So, Vivian and Cade get down to where Merlin's staff is. Lennox and his group had followed in, and they get the staff. They're getting attacked by one Transformer. Lennox helps them out. Then Nemesis Prime shows up, kills that thing, kind of hurts some people, and takes the staff to tries to give it to Quintessa. Of course, Bumblebee is able to speak and bring Optimus back around. The knights that were left within the ship were about to kill him, but of course Cade stops him because his talisman turns into Excalibur, and he's like, oh, one of them is the last night, blah, 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 blah. It's like, alright, I promise to make up for what I did. It's like, okay. I think Quintessa is pretty much trying to remake Cybertron by using the staff to use some kind of energy and frickin' drain the life force out of Unicron Earth. It's stupid. It's just stupid. So, of course, the military's like, alright, we gotta get to that ignition chamber and stop this whole staff thing. Okay. They do that. They're having trouble getting to the chamber. The little robot that Isabella's got pops up and blows up at Glenn emplacement. They're like, we're gonna use a tactical nuke to try and swing this big thing to take that out because they're like, we can't get there. It's like, alright, whatever. So they go in, and Vivian and Cade stay behind, go in. They're able to get the staff. Optimus kicks Megatron out, so he's coming back because, God forbid, you kill a villain and try and either end their story arc or whatnot. I mean, I'm glad that we got some character development with Bumblebee and Prime, because Bumblebee getting Prime out of the mind control of Quintessa was pretty cool, because, like, I will lay down my life for you, Prime. And it's like, oh shit, my friend, I haven't heard your voice in years. It's like, alright, that was pretty cool. So we get some stuff. So they fight Quintessa, and Bumblebee tries to deliver a kill shot, but of course you can't really kill the true main villains in this. And of course Optimus now has the staff, and he's like, alright, our worlds are kind of messed up, but I'm gonna repair my world and help use this to try and like fix everything, and we'll work this all out. Then of course we see Quintessa in human form talking about wanting to kill Unicron. So there's going to be more movies. Oh, and we also got a Bumblebee snapshot of him in World War II, because reasons. And there's a Pocket Watch Killed Hitler, and that's a Transformer 2. And we're going to get a Bumblebee movie and another Transformer movie, and I like Transformers. And I don't mind people transforming and then changing what is part of lore and kind of looking at it a different way. This is not that. What this is just saying this is something that people will know, and I want to put explosions and fight scenes that are kind of hard to follow and barely their characters and make money. There's no real depth to it. There's no good writing to it. It's just there to make money, and not in a good way. And we can see that people are like, this is getting old. Because these kind of movies can be done well. I mean, you can do stuff with properties and make it still true to the heart of the source material while still being different and showing us different things and different sides. But the reason people go to see Transformers is not for the humans. We go for the robots and to see them fight and see their characters and see why they're doing it, what the stakes are. I mean, God, they made Hot Rod speak French and in a French accent. And I'm like, I don't mind that. If I can't understand how he's talking because of what you've done with his audio and what you've done with his lines, and because that it really isn't done anything with, it's like, why is he French? Is there a reason? And I'm like, just give me a reason. There can be a plot reason for it. You can add it for his character development. Nope, he's French because we want to do it. I'm like, okay, but make it so that I can understand what he's saying. And that's not that I can't understand a French accent. It's just when you do the dialogue the way they've done it, it's like the audio is just really sucky. And it's like, okay, all right. And I'm like, oh, okay, so Optimus could die in here, and we could get Rodimus Prime. No, because they don't set up the character for anything. I'm like, okay, it might not be Rodimus Prime, but they could make Bumblebee into... They'd have to change it up because he'd become a Prime, but like... Or Beta Prime or something, or like... Because Bumblebee Prime's just kind of weird. Or he could be kind of like Cheetor from Beast Wars and be the next leader and just be like, Bumblebee Prime or something. They could have worked it out, but since the writers don't give a crap, neither the directors or the people that are making it or the filmmakers, it's just like, okay, we're just gonna put completely thinly made characters, except the ones that we have to carry. We're gonna flesh them out just enough so people don't get pissed off completely. And that's that, because Hot Rod, Bumblebee, Iron... all of, like, the Transformers, Optimus Prime, Megatron, Starscream, Devastator, Barricade, Soundwave, these are iconic characters from people's childhood. You can do better than this. I mean, Optimus and Bumblebee have been fleshed out pretty well, to their kind of degree that they can be in these films. And those could be done to all the other ones. And it's just like, stop, please. This could be better. Oh. So, those are my opinions on the movie. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also, like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.